Week 6 NFL picks. It's time for me to let you know who I think is going to get victories out there in the NFL this week. For the first time, I missed a pick, although for the record, I, like most people, probably would have picked Denver to win against San Diego. Of course, that didn't happen. So let's see if I can get it right this time around after a rough Week 5. Among the early kickoffs, the Cincinnati Bengals travel to take on the New England Patriots. There's a very good chance, I think, this season that the Patriots don't even lose another game in the regular season with Tom Brady back in the lineup. Of course, he returned with a vengeance against the Cleveland Browns. Playing at home this time around, it's going to be really hard for Cincinnati to make it happen, although they can get pressure on Brady with Geno Atkins and Carlos Dunlap. I like New England to win this one. The Ravens traveling to take on the New York Giants. The Ravens were very unlucky to lose to the Washington Redskins last week, but they have a chance to really bounce back against the New York Giants, who have an injury-ravaged secondary, so Joe Flacco could really tear the Giants apart in this one. And right now, Eli Manning is among the worst quarterbacks in the NFL. I know he has 2 Super Bowl rings, so historically one of the best, but man, he has a long way to go to get his act together, and I still think Ben McAdoo is trying to figure out his way as a head coach in the NFL. So I'm taking the Ravens to win on the road. Panthers at the Saints. This game is going to be a shootout because it is a battle of 2 sorely struggling secondary units. It seems that Cam Newton is going to be ready to go in this one, so that's very important for the Panthers. You don't want Derek Anderson out on the field there. But the Saints at home, I'm going to take them to win in a poo-poo-pow shootout. Steelers at the Dolphins. Sammy Coates and Antonio Brown. That might be the best 1-2 punch of wide receivers in the NFL. Coates went off last week. We'll see if he can keep it up. Brown, for my money, is the best wide receiver in the NFL. Big Ben Roethlisberger is in fine form. All signs point to the Steelers going out on the road in Miami and torching the Dolphins. Really, it could be a long day for Ryan Tannehill, too. And I also think among Pittsburgh's offensive players, Le'Veon Bell could be a fantasy goldmine. Now, looking at the Jaguars traveling up north to take on the Chicago Bears. Danny Trevathan is back at running back for Chicago, although I really like Jordan Howard a lot, the rookie running back. Will be interesting to see if they split touches there. The Bortles and Brian Hoyer could have big games. I think Jay Cutler will continue to be benched as long as Hoyer continues to play well. So I'm going to take the Bears to win this one at home. Not sure how Jacksonville is going to be able to perform traveling up north. It's a warm weather football team. The 49ers traveling to take on the Buffalo Bills. The big news here, of course, is Colin Kaepernick starting. People were kind of scratching their heads when 49ers head coach Chip Kelly announced very early in the week that Kaepernick was going to start, but you really can't blame Kelly for making a switch. Blaine Gabbert is an absolute disaster at quarterback. He's just atrocious. So this is going to be a battle of 2 running quarterbacks. Kaepernick loves to run, as does Tyrod Taylor. However, the Niners are not going to get enough pressure on Taylor, so he's going to have a good day both running and passing. I like Taylor a lot in this game, and I think the Bills are going to win at home. The Rams traveling to take on the Lions. This is pretty much a coin flip game. Both teams are dealing with a lot of injuries here. Of course, Matt Stafford is the more appealing of the 2 quarterbacks. So I think Stafford, the gunslinger, will be able to pull out a win at home here. Now, the Browns traveling to take on the Tennessee Titans. Really, the Cleveland Browns, I think at this point, are probably the worst team in the NFL. They're winless. They're 0-5. They've just been an absolute dumpster fire. And, conversely, Marcus Mariota is an up-and-coming quarterback. The Titans may be a little bit disappointed to be 2-3 at this point in the season. However, I think Delanie Walker is going to have a big day catching passes as a tight end. So give me the Titans to win, and I'm pretty confident in that pick. Eagles traveling to take on the Washington Redskins. Jordan Reed is a huge loss to the Redskins. He has suffered the sixth concussion of his football career. That really not only puts this game, this season, it puts his whole career in doubt. Really would be a massive loss if the Redskins were to lose him for good, but they have a lot to figure out with him. And I think the Eagles are going to get a lot of pressure on Kirk Cousins. There have been a lot of people being very critical of Kirk Cousins this season. I think the jury is still out on whether or not Cousins merits a big money contract. But I think the Eagles' pass rush in this game is going to make the big difference. I think Carson Wentz will continue to perform well, so I have the Eagles winning on the road. So, Chiefs traveling to take on the Oakland Raiders. Quietly, really quietly, Derek Carr has emerged among some of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Really, there's a chance I think he could finish the season as the best quarterback in the NFL. Certainly, Colin Kaepernick thinks so, but he's having a terrific season. Love the work he's doing. The Chiefs, on the other hand, have a strong running game, and they could really run roughshod on a not very so strong Oakland Raider run defense. However, Carr is going to air it out. He's going to put up the points. I don't think Alex Smith and the Chiefs can keep up on the road, so I'm taking the Raiders to win this game. Really just the big breakout team of the NFL season thus far. Falcons traveling to take on the Seahawks. What an offense Atlanta has at this point in the season. Really, they're flying high, the Falcons. The battle of the birds. But, I really think the Seahawks at home will be able to pull it out. I think their coaching staff is going to put together a good scheme to slow down that high-powered Falcon offense, so I'm taking the Seahawks to win at home. Cowboys at Packers, for many people, the game of the week. The Packers should have won by a lot more last week against the New York Giants. Aaron Rodgers is not ruthlessly putting away teams as he is known for doing. So it's going to be a close game, I think. Dak Prescott is continuing to get it done. Of course, people were talking a lot this week about how he turned down free Kanye West tickets just to get extra sleep. He is a man who is focused, who wants to get the job done. However, I think the Packers will just barely be able to pull this one out. So I'm taking the Pack to win at home at Lambeau Field. Now, for the Colts at the Houston Texans. Speaking of quarterbacks who got contracts that they did not deserve, Brock Osweiler is one of the first names now that comes to mind. He has thrown more interceptions than touchdowns so far this season. So he is clearly not a man worth $72 million. The Texans have serious secondary issues. Andrew Luck is not going to be nearly as terrified of a Texan defense without J.J. Watt. I think Luck will have a good game in this one on the road. I'm taking the Colts to win what could be a high-scoring affair. Now, Monday Night Football. Jets traveling to take on the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals are overrated, but the Jets are really struggling. Carson Palmer cleared the concussion protocol, which is great news for guys like Michael Floyd and John Brown. Really like the Cardinals to win on Monday night. So with that, I leave you with my Week 6 NFL picks.